I gave my stepmother the perfect Mother's Day gift, and then I just sat there staring at her face while it finally hit her what it really meant. Monica came into our lives when I was 13, and she immediately took on the role of the household's health specialist. On her own initiative, of course, she took a basic first aid course at the community center, but it seems she decided that was enough to diagnose anything and everything. You don't need paracetamol, just drink water and stop being dramatic. That was her go-to line every time I said I felt sick. It all started in February, when I began feeling exhausted in an inexplicable way, a deep kind of tiredness that doesn't go away even after sleeping. My skin turned pale, almost grayish, and I'd get dizzy just from standing up. That's growth, Monica declared without looking up from her phone. Teenagers are tired all the time. It's just extra laziness. When I told her about the nausea, she looked at me impatiently. Oh, that must be anxiety. You guys worry about nothing. The dizziness only got worse. I had to sit down in the middle of the hallway on my way to the living room. My friends started asking if I was okay, but the moment I mentioned anything at home, Monica would launch into her teenage drama speech. By March, I could barely stay awake. I was almost falling asleep standing up. My grades dropped because I couldn't concentrate. I begged my dad to take me to a doctor, but Monica always found a way to stop it. She's fine, Frank. You're not going to waste money on a consultation for nothing. Teenagers put on a show just to get attention. I hit my limit in biology class when everything went dark around me. I grabbed the desk, but I almost passed out right there. My teacher noticed and acted immediately. I'm calling your parents and you're going straight to the nurse's office. The nurse didn't waste a second. This girl needs a blood test urgently. When Monica arrived, she was already protesting. It's not necessary. I'm tracking all her symptoms. The nurse was blunt. Ma'am, I've been a nurse for 20 years. She has clear signs of severe anemia. 2 hours later, at the hospital, the doctor was firm. Your daughter's hemoglobin level is 6.2. Normal is between 12 and 14. If you'd waited one more week, she would have needed a transfusion immediately. Monica went pale as he asked, "How long has she been like this?" I answered quietly, "About 6 weeks." He didn't hide how serious it was. Early treatment is essential. If you don't take care of this, it can even turn into a heart problem, or something worse. In the weeks that followed, Monica was strangely quiet about anything health-related, but she never apologized, never even admitted what she'd done. Not once. My dad tried to bring it up during dinner. "Monica, I think we need to talk about what the doctor said." But she just stood up and left the table. She disappeared down the hallway as if nothing had happened. I froze with my fork in the air, watching her go, and my dad just sighed. Give her time. But I was done giving her anything. After that, I started documenting everything. Every symptom she ignored, every time she said I was being dramatic, every moment she played doctor instead of listening. I wrote it all down in a notebook hidden under my mattress. February 12th. I told Monica about the dizziness. She said I just needed to sleep more. March 3rd. I told her my skin was pale. She said I needed more sun. March 15th. I almost fainted in pee. She said I was out of shape, and on and on. The more I wrote, the angrier I got. But do you know what hit me the hardest? About 2 weeks after the hospital, I overheard Monica on the phone with a friend. I was in my room doing homework. She was talking loudly in the hallway and didn't even notice. "Oh, it was nothing," she said. "Just teen anemia. That happens all the time." The doctor exaggerated. I dropped my pen right then, and she kept minimizing it, acting like it was no big deal when she'd nearly let me die out of pure stubbornness. Of course I realized something was wrong. She even added, "I was keeping an eye on it. I knew exactly what to do." I bit my finger so I wouldn't scream. That was the day I started planning. Mother's Day was 8 weeks away, and Monica was already dropping hints about what she wanted. "A spa day would be amazing," she'd say at breakfast. Or, "I've always wanted one of those modern coffee machines." She talked about Mother's Day like she deserved a celebration, like she was Mother of the Year, when she'd nearly put me in danger just because she refused to admit she'd been wrong. Meanwhile, she kept acting like the expert, talking to anyone who'd listen. At the grocery store, she'd tell strangers glasses were nonsense and that all you needed was good lighting. At church, she diagnosed the pastor's wife with gluten intolerance, saying it with total confidence. And people believed her because she was convincing, you know? She had this gift for making you feel stupid if you dared disagree, even when she was saying something outrageous. That was when my little brother started getting headaches. He was only 11. He'd come to breakfast rubbing his temples with that pained little expression. "My head hurts," he'd say. And Monica wouldn't even look up from her phone. "Must be thirst. Drink more water." Day after day, same script, headache, drink water, stop complaining. Watching it made my stomach twist because I knew exactly where it was heading. She was repeating the same cycle with him that she'd done with me, and I was still trying to recover, taking iron, getting blood tests constantly, too drained to fight. Then he started vomiting. Not every single day, but the pattern was obvious. He'd throw up early, right after breakfast most of the time. "He must be eating too fast," she'd say. Or, lactose intolerance. She had endless diagnoses. The only thing she never arrived at was the correct one. I'd see him hunched over the bathroom sink, pale and shaking, while Monica shouted from downstairs, "Hurry up, you're going to be late for school." I started writing down his symptoms on a page just for him in my notebook. The headache started in mid-March. The vomiting in early April. On April 10th, he mentioned dizziness. And Monica's answers were always the same. "Are you okay? Enough drama. Kids complain about everything." It was like living in a horror movie, knowing the ending by heart and being unable to do anything. My dad, meanwhile, was practically a background character in all of it. He worked all day and just wanted peace when he got home. Every time I tried to talk to him about Monica, he brushed it off. "She wants what's best." Or, "She's just trying to help." I wanted to scream that her way of helping was destroying us. But what was the point? He'd made his choice, and he'd keep covering his eyes until it was impossible to deny the truth. So I focused on my Mother's Day plan. I spent my allowance on a used medical book I found online for cheap. The woman who sold it to me was a retired nurse, and when I told her it was for a school project, she even gave me some old magazines about the topic for free. "Education is important," she said, and I just smiled and thanked her, imagining what she'd think if she knew what I was really planning. I pulled my blood test results from the hospital website. Everything had been released online, and Monica had no idea I could access those documents. I printed the page showing my hemoglobin at 6.2. I circled the number in red until the paper nearly tore. Then I printed the doctor's reports from my last appointment. Patient with severe anemia, apparently untreated, for 6 to 8 weeks. Guardian reported believing symptoms were typical teenage behavior. Immediate intervention recommended to avoid cardiac complications. Getting a photo of me in the hospital was easy. My dad took it without thinking, just to send to my aunt to prove I was alive. In the photo, I barely looked human. Skin almost gray, deep dark circles under my eyes, an IV in my arm, me half dazed, eyes barely open. Perfect for what I needed. I spent 2 weeks working on the card. I rewrote it about 20 times until it sounded right. It had to be sharp, but not cruel. A thank you that only revealed its real meaning when you read carefully. Thank you for teaching me that when someone says they're not okay, it's always worth believing them. Your stepdaughter, who almost died, without any chance for you to pretend you misunderstood. Monica had planned one of those big brunches at her favorite restaurant. She invited all her friends, even the nurses she volunteered on shifts with. For weeks, she bragged about the party, about how wonderful it would be to celebrate with her girls. I heard her call the restaurant 1,000 times to confirm the private room, the decorations, everything perfect. She was glowing, convinced it would be the best day she'd had in a long time. The night before, I couldn't sleep. I replayed the plan 1,000 times in my head, making sure I didn't forget a single detail. The book on the exact page, the lab results smoothed flat, the photo printed on quality paper, nothing cheap or ugly. Everything inside a white box lined with tissue paper, perfectly arranged. I even tied a pretty ribbon, because if I was going to do it, I was going to do it properly. Sunday morning, Monica was in a great mood, rare for her. She hummed in the bathroom while getting ready, trying on outfit after outfit, asking my dad which earrings he liked best. "This is going to be a wonderful day," she repeated. "I can't wait to see everyone." I just smiled. The box on my lap on the way to the restaurant. Her friends were already there. Nensei, the veteran ICU nurse, Bet from pediatrics, Jennifer from cardiology, respected women with tons of experience. There were cheerful greetings, compliments about Monica's new dress, comments about her hair. I stayed at the end of the table, waiting for the moment. We ordered food, conversation flowed. Monica couldn't take her eyes off my gift, eager to open it. "Can I open it now?" she asked like a kid on Christmas. I smiled slightly. "Of course, it's your day." She smiled happily, and for a second I almost felt sorry for her. Almost, until I remembered myself sitting in the ER, hearing the doctor say I could have died. Then the pity vanished. Monica untied the ribbon slowly, folded back the tissue paper, lifted the lid, and processed it bit by bit. First she looked confused, then it hit her, maybe even scared her. She grabbed the book, flipped to the marked page, read the underlined symptoms: fatigue, paleness, dizziness, weakness, rapid heartbeat, everything I'd told her, everything she'd ignored. Then came the lab report. Her hands trembled as she unfolded the sheet and saw my results circled. As she read the medical note, a heavy silence dropped over the table. Nancy leaned in to look too, and her face changed. "Monica," Nancy said softly. "What is this?" Monica didn't answer. She just stared at my photo on the hospital bed, looking like I was on the edge of death. She went completely pale, like all the blood had drained out of her. "I didn't," she started, but her voice cracked halfway. "That's not," Nancy cut in. "Show me that." She took the book from Monica's hands, checked the page, then my lab results, then the photo. The other women leaned in, reading, understanding. "Monica," Nancy repeated now, cold. "Tell me you didn't ignore symptoms this obvious for severe anemia." Monica's face hardened. "It's in the books. It can cause increased intracranial pressure." The silence was so absolute that the only sounds were the hum of the air conditioning and utensils clinking at other tables. At ours, no one breathed. 7 women stared at Monica, waiting for an answer that couldn't fix anything anymore. My stepbrother was sitting beside my dad, playing on his phone like any bored kid at an adult brunch, until he heard what Nancy said. He looked up instantly, looked at me, looked at Monica, then back to me. I saw the exact moment it clicked for him. Wide eyes, everything making sense. He'd heard the nurses list the symptoms, he'd seen the medical book, and he realized what it meant for him too. "Wait," he said quietly. "What exactly is intracranial pressure?" Nancy looked at him like she'd only just noticed him at the table. Then she looked at Monica, and something changed in her tone. "Sweetheart," she said gently. "How long have you had headaches?" He glanced nervously at Monica. "A while. Since March, I think." "And nausea?" Nancy asked, firm but kind. "How long has that been happening?" "I don't know. Maybe a month. Mom said it's because I eat too fast." He sounded like he wanted to defend Monica, like it was just a misunderstanding. Then Bet from Pediatrics set her mimosa down hard on the table. "Monica, seriously? Are you telling me your son has headaches every day, throws up in the morning, and you never took him to a doctor?" "He's fine," Monica said quickly. "Kids get headaches, that's all. It's probably school stress. Too much screen time, I don't know." "Enough, Monica," Nancy cut in, harsh. "You know those symptoms are serious, especially in a child." She turned to my dad, who'd been sitting there the whole time with a lost expression. "Frank, when was the last time you took your son to the doctor?" My dad tried to answer, but stalled. "I didn't. Monica handles that stuff. She said he was fine. So I thought he was fine." Nancy's laugh was pure venom. "She also said your daughter was fine, and her hemoglobin was 6.2. Do you know what that means, Frank? Do you understand that if your daughter had waited 1 more week, she would have needed a blood transfusion?" She pointed at my hospital photo. "Does this look normal to you?" I was monitoring, trying to keep track. Monica tried to justify herself, but her voice was failing. I was watching both of them. If it got worse, I was going to take them to the doctor. "It's been bad for a long time," Jennifer cut in. "Severe anemia is serious. Headaches for 6 weeks, serious. A kid vomiting in the morning, serious too. This is basic, Monica, basic. What you learn in your first year of college, or what anyone who Googles WebMD knows." I grabbed my phone and texted my stepbrother under the table. "Do you get dizzy when you stand up?" I watched him read it and nod slowly. "Does light bother your eyes sometimes?" Another nod. "Have you told Monica that?" He typed, and his reply froze me. "Lots of times. She just says I'm trying to skip school." I showed the phone to Nancy. She read it and, swear to God, I'd never seen anyone so furious. "Quiet, Frank," she said. "You need to take your son to the ER right now. Today. This minute." "You don't have to exaggerate," Monica protested. "If you finish that sentence without saying he's sick and he needs medical attention, I will personally call Child Protective Services," Nancy snapped, without hesitation. "I'm not kidding, Monica. I've seen kids die from ignored symptoms like this. Brain tumor, meningitis, aneurysm. Recognize any of those? They all start with headaches and vomiting." My dad turned white, staring at my stepbrother like he was seeing him for the first time. "Son?" he asked softly. "Does your head hurt right now?" My stepbrother nodded, eyes filling with tears. "Yeah, it always hurts," he whispered. "I stopped complaining because Mom yells at me, that's all." Then my dad shot up, chair scraping the floor. "We're going to the hospital," he said, decisive. He looked at Monica like he never had before, like he didn't recognize her anymore. "You stay here. I don't want you near him right now. Frank, you're overreacting." "Oh, am I?" he shouted loud enough for everyone to hear. "Because I'm looking at a photo of my daughter almost dying, and my son, who, from everything I'm hearing, has been suffering for months, and the only thing they have in common is you telling me everyone is fine when they're not." "I'll take him," I said, already standing. "Dad, you're shaking. Let me. We'll meet you there." I wasn't going to let my dad drive like that. And honestly, all I wanted was to get my brother away from Monica as fast as possible. Nancy grabbed her bag. "I'm coming with you. I want to speak to the ER staff personally." And she gave Monica a look that could freeze anyone. "And I'm going to tell them everything you just admitted." "You can't do that." Monica tried, but Nancy was ice cold. "Just watch. I'm legally obligated to report this, Monica. Did you forget? The moment you admitted ignoring serious symptoms, not in one child but in two, it became my obligation." I took my brother's hand, and he squeezed hard. Now he was truly crying, and I understood. "Come on," I told him quietly. "They're going to check you properly, okay? It's going to be all right." We were already crossing the parking lot when I heard my dad behind us, speaking loudly, ordering Monica to sit down, saying she wasn't leaving until they finished that conversation. I heard her crying, heard her friends trying to intervene. Everyone was furious, but I didn't look back. I kept walking, holding his hand, with Nancy on the other side like a bodyguard. The ER on Mother's Day was emptier than I expected. Nancy went straight to the front desk and explained everything the right way, full of technical terms, and I watched the receptionist nurse's eyes widen with each detail. Male patient, 11 years old, chronic headaches for about 8 weeks, morning vomiting for a month, photophobia, dizziness on standing, symptoms consistently ignored by the caregiver despite the child complaining. With a recent family history of severe anemia neglected in the sister, I'm concerned about intracranial hypertension. I'm requesting an urgent CT scan. In less than 10 minutes, they took him back. Nancy went with him and I stayed in the waiting area, and that's when it really hit me. The rage, the fear, the sheer absurdity that Monica was doing it all again, that she'd learned nothing, that she'd almost killed me, and was now almost doing the same thing to an 11-year-old boy. I pulled out my phone and started recording an audio message describing everything that happened at the brunch. Nancy's face reading the report, Bet going pale as she heard the symptoms, Monica trying to explain herself and failing. I wanted it all documented in case Monica tried to change her story later. My dad arrived about 20 minutes later. He looked 10 years older. He sat beside me without a word, staring into space, until he finally broke down. I should have noticed. I should have paid more attention. I trusted her. She spoke with such certainty. I believed her. His voice cracked. "Forgive me." "Both of us, really, Dad?" I said softly. "She lied to you too, and she's good at it. Really good." And she was. That was the worst part. Monica knew how to lie while looking you in the eye. She made you doubt your own perception. She twisted everything until you were the one apologizing. 3 hours later, Nancy came back with a doctor I'd never seen. He looked serious, and just from his eyes, I felt a cold knot in my stomach. "Mr. Peterson," he called, "we need to talk about your son's CT scan results." They took us to a private room, the kind where there aren't good news. My hands were shaking. The doctor sat across from us and showed the images on a tablet. "Your son has a brain tumor," he said bluntly. It's a craniopharyngioma near the pituitary gland. It's been growing for at least 6 months, maybe more. The headaches, vomiting, and vision problems are classic symptoms. My dad made a sound like he'd been punched in the gut. A tumor in the brain, he repeated, totally disoriented. My son has a tumor in the brain, the doctor continued. It can be operated on, but you need to understand something. If you'd brought him in when the symptoms started, we might have been able to remove it laparoscopically. Small incisions, a much less invasive procedure, maybe 3 days in the hospital. But this tumor has been growing uncontrolled for months, and it's much larger now. Now we'll have to do a craniotomy, opening the skull. It's a major surgery, higher risks, and a much longer recovery. But will he be okay? I asked in a threat of voice. I mean, will he survive? The doctor answered carefully. The surgery has about an 85% average success rate for removing the tumor completely. But yes, there is risk. There can be hormonal problems, partial vision loss, learning difficulties, in addition to complications inherent to surgery. Then he looked at my dad. I need to be honest, Mr. Peterson. Every extra week without treating this tumor increased the risk. If you'd waited another 1 or 2 months, the outcome might have been completely different. Nancy leaned forward. Doctor, I need to know, did the caregiver's negligence have a direct impact on this worsening? He looked at her, then at my dad, and replied, I will document in my reports that the child showed typical symptoms that went without medical follow-up for a prolonged period. The hospital's social work department will contact you for a follow-up interview. That's routine. Child Protective Services. Nancy pressed. You're going to notify Child Protective Services? That part isn't up to me, the doctor replied, choosing his words carefully. But yes, there will be a report. Dad put his head in his hands. I sat there half frozen, watching him collapse in front of me, and all I could think was that Monica had caused all of this. Monica watched an 11-year-old boy vomiting every day and told him to chew slowly. She listened to him say for months that his head hurt and said it was too much screen time. Monica almost killed him. The surgery was scheduled for the next morning because they didn't want to lose time or let the tumor grow anymore. Dad called his sister to come stay with me. He told his boss he'd need time off. He called the hospital billing department to understand everything about insurance, but he didn't even mention Monica. Meanwhile, from what Nancy texted me, Monica was getting torn apart at the restaurant. The moment we left, her friends didn't hold back. Bet pulled up medical articles on her phone to show what Monica should have recognized. Jennifer described 3 cases where ignored symptoms led to permanent disability or death. Nancy was direct. She told Monica she wasn't fit to care for any child. Monica tried to defend herself, but it didn't work. According to Nancy, Monica claimed she wanted to save money on doctors. Can you believe that? She preferred risking the boy's life rather than paying for a consultation. At one point, Monica tried to leave, but Nancy blocked her. You're going to sit down and you're going to listen to everything we have to say. That's the least you owe those kids. Monica stayed. She listened. She cried. She tried to justify herself. She listened more. By the end, she looked like a hurricane had run her over. They told us they would report her to the hospital volunteer coordination. Nancy messaged me. We're all filing a formal complaint. It's over for her as a volunteer. I'll make sure of it. I screenshotted every message, saved it to a drive, emailed it to myself, printed everything. I was building a case against Monica, proof by proof, making sure nothing could disappear. That night, I slept at the hospital with my dad and my brother. He'd already been admitted, on corticosteroids to reduce swelling. He looked so fragile in that bed, covered in wires, IV lines, monitors, and all I could think was that Monica saw situations like this all the time and did nothing. What kind of person does that? What kind of person watches a child suffering and says they're exaggerating? Dad spent the night tossing in the chair, trying to sleep, but every half hour he got up to check on my brother. Around 3 in the morning, when my brother woke up crying in pain, Dad held his hand and said, "Forgive me, son. I should have protected you better. I should have listened." He thought it was his fault, but it wasn't. It wasn't his fault. It was Monica's. Monica, who made him believe she knew what she was doing. Monica, who made him feel stupid for questioning her. Monica, who used his trust against him and nearly destroyed our family. I fell asleep around 4. I woke up at 6:30 to noise in the hallway. I peeked out and saw my dad blocking Monica near the elevator. She looked wrecked. Dark circles, smeared makeup, yesterday's clothes. "I need to see him," she said. "He's my son, Frank. You can't stop me. Just try." Dad answered coldly. "I already told the hospital staff. You're not going into the room. If you insist, security will remove you." "This is absurd!" she shouted louder and louder. "I messed up fine, but I love that boy." "I have that right." "You have no rights," Dad cut her off. "You almost killed him, Monica. You almost killed both of them. And the worst part is, you keep making excuses, trying to justify yourself instead of admitting you were wrong." Monica tried to argue. "I was trying to help. I didn't know about the tumor." Dad was shaking with rage. "Help? Telling a child with a brain tumor that he just needs to drink more water. That's help?" Security arrived then. 2 serious men, the kind who've seen everything. "Ma'am, we need you to leave this floor," one of them said firmly. Monica looked at me with hatred and hissed, "This is all your fault. Because of you, that little stunt yesterday made everyone turn against me. You are a..." "That's enough." Nancy appeared in the hallway. She'd probably spent the night at the hospital too. "Your stepdaughter may have saved your stepson's life by pushing for immediate care. If she hadn't done that, if we hadn't all been there to hear it, this boy could have died before you even noticed. So before you accuse others of manipulation, try looking in the mirror." Security led Monica away while she still tried to explain herself. We stood there watching the elevator doors close in her face, soaked in tears, and I felt nothing. Not satisfaction, not guilt, not pity, just a huge emptiness. Surgery started at 10 a.m. and lasted 6 hours. 6 hours in that waiting room, drinking horrible coffee, watching time crawl. Dad paced nonstop, practically carving a track into the carpet. Nancy stayed with us for the first 3 hours before leaving for her shift, but made us swear we'd call the moment we knew anything. When the surgeon finally came out, I tried to read his face, but it was impossible. "The surgery went well," he said. My dad collapsed into the chair in relief. "We removed the entire tumor. The good news is it was benign. The bad news is that because of its size, it affected surrounding tissues. He'll need hormone replacement therapy, possibly for life, and he will likely have some vision issues. We'll know more once the swelling goes down." "But he's alive," Dad said, like he couldn't believe it. "He's going to be okay. He's alive." "He's alive," the doctor confirmed. "He'll be under observation for the next hours and then in the ICU, but barring complications, we expect a full recovery, or as close to that as possible." After the doctor left, my dad stayed quiet for a long time, staring into nothing, until he grabbed his phone and started typing. I leaned in and saw what he wrote, a message to Monica. "The surgery is over. He's alive. It wasn't thanks to you. We'll talk when I'm ready, but don't expect it soon. And don't come to the hospital. You're not welcome here." He showed it to me before sending. "Was that too harsh?" he asked. "I think it still wasn't enough," I admitted, honestly. And he sent it. In the days that followed, while my stepbrother recovered in the ICU, everything Monica had done wrong started surfacing. The hospital social worker interviewed us separately, writing down in detail every symptom Monica ignored, every time she called it exaggeration, every situation where anyone in her place would have sought medical care. "This is going straight to Child Protective Services," the social worker warned my dad. "I'm legally obligated to report suspected neglect, and this is one of the clearest cases I've seen. A child with an untreated brain tumor for months, showing symptoms the entire time. It's classic." Then Nancy sent me a screenshot of an email from the volunteer coordinator. "Dear Mrs. Peterson, we have received several serious complaints about your conduct and the medical advice you have given to patients and family members. Your volunteer status is suspended pending the conclusion of an investigation. Please do not return to any hospital unit until further notice." But Monica wasn't going to give up easily. Not even close. 3 days after my stepbrother's surgery, my dad's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Mother, sister, brother, cousins, everyone demanding to know what was going on, because Monica was telling people I forged test results and staged everything to ruin her life. "She's telling everyone you invented the anemia," my dad said after hanging up on a third relative. "She says you altered the tests, paid an actor to pretend to be your doctor, and did all of this to turn me against her." "That's absurd," I replied. "The hospital has all the tests. They can verify everything." "I know, you know." But my family would rather believe her because it's easier than facing the fact that I married someone who put my children at risk. He rubbed his face, exhausted. My mother still thinks I should give Monica another chance. She says everyone makes mistakes and family exists to forgive. She almost killed 2 kids, I snapped flatly. That's not a mistake. That's neglect. Try getting that into the head of someone who just wants to believe the world is pink, my dad muttered. By the end of that week, Monica had convinced half of my dad's family that I was a lying, manipulative teenager, jealous of her, willing to do anything to destroy the marriage. It didn't matter that my stepbrother was in the hospital, freshly operated on, that everything was documented, that 3 nurses heard her confession. Of course, I was the problem. So much so that my dad got into a vicious fight with his own mother. I heard him yelling in the hallway, getting more and more desperate. Mom? He had a brain tumor, a tumor untreated for months. What don't you understand? Monica ignored serious symptoms in 2 kids. The hospital already notified Child Protective Services. This isn't teenage drama. This is proven medical neglect. Apparently, Grandma's reply was that Monica had been very stressed, that everyone copes differently, and my dad hung up on her. Then Monica went even further. She started showing up deliberately wherever she knew my dad would be. By coincidence, at the grocery store, the gas station, his favorite cafe, trying to chat as if nothing had happened, with unbelievable nerve. My dad had to change routines, switch stores, avoid habits. I can't look at her, he told me one night. When I see her face, I only think of you in the hospital and how everything could have been avoided if she'd just admitted she didn't know everything. My stepbrother came home a week after surgery with a huge scar where they opened his skull, tiring easily. But the doctor said everything was heading in the right direction. He'd need physical therapy, frequent neurology checkups, multiple medications, but he was alive, and that was what mattered most. And on the day he came home, Monica still tried to get into the house. My dad had just settled him on the couch with a blanket and pillows when the doorbell rang. I looked out the window and saw her car parked out front. Don't answer, I said immediately. I'm not going to, Dad replied. She didn't stop. She rang 6 times, then started pounding on the door and screaming from outside. Frank, please, I just want to talk. I know I messed up, but we can get past this. I love you. I love the kids. Let me explain. My stepbrother looked at me, scared. Is that Mom? Yes, I said. But Dad doesn't want her to come in right now. Good, he muttered. I don't want to see her either. Monica left, but she stuck a note to the door. Frank, I know I messed up. I know I should have taken their symptoms more seriously, but I was terrified of being wrong, of looking ridiculous, of admitting I didn't know as much as I thought I did. I let my pride outweigh their health, and I regret it forever. I'm only asking for one chance to fix it. I'm in therapy, I'm studying, I want to be better. Please don't shut me out. We can get through this together. I love you. I love our family. Please. My dad read it, crumpled it, and threw it away. It's too late, he said. Even so, kicking Monica out wasn't enough for me. I wanted more. I wanted everyone to know what she did, and I wanted real consequences. I started taking action. First, I called Nancy and asked if she and the other nurses would testify in my dad's divorce proceedings. Absolutely, she answered without hesitation. I've already talked to a lawyer friend about it. Medical neglect can be documented, and it carries a lot of weight in court. We'll testify about everything we heard at that brunch. Then I called my aunt, my dad's sister, who'd always doubted things, until she received copies of my medical records, the social worker's notes, and photos of my stepbrother's surgical scar. My God, she whispered. Frank was telling the truth. Monica really is that incompetent. She's worse than incompetent, I said. She's negligent, she puts lives at risk, and she's still telling the family I made it all up. I'm going to set the family straight, my aunt said. This is unacceptable. I began documenting everything Monica did. Every time she showed up near my dad, I wrote down date and time. Every voicemail she left him, I saved. Every note on the door, I photographed. I was building a case, brick by brick, to show she was harassing us, refusing accountability, and caring more about her image than our well-being. My dad finally hired a heavy-hitter divorce attorney. He looked over my whole folder: medical reports, nurse statements, social worker reports, Child Protective Services notes. and he said, "This is one of the clearest cases of medical neglect I've ever seen. She has no defense." Monica reacted to the divorce filing exactly as expected. She showed up at our house again, pounding the door and screaming that my dad couldn't do this, that she had rights, that she would fight for everything. "This house is half mine," she yelled. "You can't just throw me out. I have a right to everything. House, car, savings. You're not getting rid of me that easily." My dad called the police, and they removed her with a harassment warning. She left crying, but still yelled at me through the car window. "You did this! You ruined everything! I hope you're happy." And yes, I was. It was a relief to see her forced to face consequences. That's when I found the notebook. I was looking for a charger in Monica's old office. My dad had already packed most of her things, but there were still some leftovers. I knocked over a stack of papers, and underneath was an ordinary spiral notebook. I picked it up and flipped through it out of curiosity. It was Monica's medical diary, and it was unbelievably incriminating. She'd been writing down our symptoms for months, not just mine and my stepbrother's, and apparently she'd been doing this for years since she moved in with us. F complains of back pain, maybe bad posture. F says he's tired, but he watches TV late. Stepdaughter says her throat hurts, but I think she just wants to miss school. But it was the recent entries that iced my blood. Feb 10. Stepdaughter pale, tired, probably anemia, not serious yet, just observe. Feb 24. Stepdaughter dizzy in the morning, typical of anemia. A supplement would help, but I don't want to worry Frank with a doctor's visit. Better try giving her more meat. So she knew the whole time. She knew exactly what was wrong with me and chose, on purpose, not to get help. It wasn't that she didn't see the symptoms. She saw them. She just didn't want to admit she'd been wrong. She protected herself instead of protecting us. The notes about my stepbrother were even worse. Mar 15. Headaches continue. Could be school stress, but frequency is concerning. Observe 1 more week. Mar 28. Vomited in the morning. Along with headache, could be intracranial pressure. But I think it's more likely a virus. Wait and see. APR 5. No improvement. Should take him to the doctor, but if it's serious, Frank will blame me for not acting sooner. Better wait and hope. APR 12. Headaches worsening, now daily. Really should take him to the doctor, but every day that passes makes me look worse if something goes wrong. Between a rock and a hard place. Wait 1 more week. She had recognized for weeks that he needed a doctor. She knew it could be serious, but she decided to risk his life so she wouldn't have to admit her mistake. She let pride, ego, and fear of looking bad outweigh a child's health. I photographed every page and sent everything to my dad, to the lawyer, to the Child Protective Services social worker, to Nancy, to the hospital's volunteer coordinator. I wanted no doubt about what was happening. Not a single chance for Monica to invent an excuse. My dad called me 20 minutes later, voice shaking. "Where did you find this?" "In her office under some papers." She wrote everything down. "She knew they were sick," he said, stunned. "She knew and decided to do nothing. She chose pride over their lives." "Yes," I confirmed. "That's exactly what it was. I'm sending this to the lawyer right now," he said. "It's over for Monica. There's no coming back." The lawyer agreed. "This is proof of intentional neglect. She recognized symptoms, evaluated the risk, and chose not to seek help. This isn't just incompetence, it's putting lives at risk by choice." "Can I use this to our advantage in negotiations?" I asked. "And honestly, I doubt she'll want a war," he replied. "As soon as this is officially included in the case, she'll want to settle quickly and quietly." 2 days later, Monica's attorney called requesting a meeting. My dad agreed, and I insisted on being there. The meeting was in the attorney's conference room, cold, impersonal, with no warmth at all. Monica looked wrecked. She'd lost a lot of weight, her hair was greasy, deep circles under her eyes, unable to look at me at any point. "My client is willing to negotiate a settlement," her lawyer began carefully. "Your client is guilty of medical neglect and deliberately placing minors at risk," our lawyer shot back bluntly. "We have documented proof that she knowingly refused to seek necessary medical care. We have testimony from 3 nurses who heard her admission. We have hospital records, social worker reports, and an open Child Protective Services investigation. Your client has no leverage here." Monica's lawyer grimaced. "Despite that, we believe—" "She gets nothing," my dad interrupted. No right to the house, my retirement, no alimony. She renounces any claim to my children. She accepts a restraining order and waives any and all marital assets. In exchange, I won't pursue criminal charges. That's not reasonable, Monica's lawyer protested. On the contrary, it's very reasonable, ours replied. Criminal charges for endangering children can mean prison. We're offering a settlement that avoids a criminal record. I recommend she accepts. Monica finally spoke, voice weak, almost crying. Frank, please. Can we at least talk? Just talk, my dad said flatly. It's over. You nearly killed 2 children because you couldn't admit a mistake. There's nothing left to discuss. I was trying to help. Enough. He raised his hand. I read your diary, Monica. I saw your notes saying they needed medical care, and you still chose to wait. You weren't trying to help. You were trying to protect yourself, putting that above the lives of 2 children. My children. Monica broke down sobbing. But my dad didn't soften. You have 48 hours to accept these terms. After that, I'll file a criminal complaint and pursue the maximum penalty. You decide. The next day, Monica signed the papers, and that was how it ended. She left with nothing. No house, no money, no rights. And she agreed to stay at least 150 meters away from me, my dad, and my stepbrother at all times. The restraining order would last 3 years. I thought I'd feel victorious after that, but all I felt was exhaustion and a faint sadness. Not for Monica, but for my dad, who looked like he'd aged 10 years in just a few weeks. I should have seen it sooner, he kept saying. All the signs were right in front of me. I just didn't want to believe I'd made such a terrible mistake. She fooled a lot of people. I tried to comfort him. It wasn't just you. But you saw her for what she was, he said. Even when you were only 13, you knew something was wrong. I lived with her, I replied. You just loved her. It's different. Nancy and the other nurses sent a formal letter to the hospital administration describing Monica's behavior at the brunch and her admission of giving medical advice without qualifications. The hospital responded quickly. Monica was permanently banned from volunteering at any unit in the network, and her name was flagged in the system so she couldn't volunteer elsewhere. She says it's persecution, Nancy told me one afternoon over coffee. She tells everyone we ruined her life over a misunderstanding, but the hospital doesn't care about explanations. They just want legal protection. Letting someone pose as a medical professional without a license as a volunteer is a huge risk. Good, I said. She shouldn't be anywhere near sick people. Yeah, Nancy said. And honestly, I'm really proud of you. What you did at that brunch took real courage. You could have stayed quiet to avoid trouble, but you didn't. You made sure she was held accountable, and you probably prevented others from going through the same thing. About 2 months after the divorce ended, my stepbrother asked for a family meeting. We sat with him in the living room. He took a deep breath. I want to talk about what happened with Mom, he said. About why she did what she did. It's okay, my dad answered gently. What do you want to know? I don't want to know anything, he said. I want to tell you something. For a long time, I thought it was my fault. Like if I were stronger, if I handled the headaches better, if I complained less, maybe she wouldn't get so irritated. Maybe if I were more convincing, she would have taken me seriously. Hey, I cut in immediately. That was never your fault. You were a kid. You told an adult you were sick, and that adult left you without help. The responsibility is entirely hers. I know that now, he nodded. My therapist has helped me understand it, but I needed to say it out loud so you could hear it. I want you to know I don't blame you. Dad, you trusted the wrong person, but that doesn't make you a bad father. Then he looked at me. You saved my life. If you hadn't given Monica that gift, if you hadn't made everyone see what she was doing, I could have died. The doctor said that. So, thank you for speaking up when I couldn't. And then we all cried. Good tears, the kind that heal, that show you're processing trauma instead of burying it. Little by little, things got better. My stepbrother's scars healed. He'll always have a mark on his head from the surgery, but it's okay. His hormones stabilized with medication. His vision problems were mild, fixed with glasses. He went back to school and, surprisingly, even became popular. Brain surgery, after all, is rare among kids. I finished my anemia treatment, got my iron levels back, and returned to myself. My grades improved. I slept properly again, and the exhaustion that had haunted me for months finally disappeared. My dad even started dating again, but this time he was much more cautious. He watched for anything strange and ended things quickly if something didn't feel right. "I'm not making that mistake again," he told me. "The next time someone comes into our family, I'm going to investigate properly." And Monica? She went to live with her sister, the same sister who, according to Nancy, had always been distant from her. Apparently, she took her in out of obligation, because there was no real affection. You could feel it in the air. Nancy kept me updated with what she heard. Monica tried to volunteer at another hospital, but during background checks, they found she was banned at the first one. She also tried to join a first aid program, but got kicked out as soon as someone searched her name and found the divorce proceedings. "She's basically burned," Nancy said. "No one in healthcare wants anything to do with her. When someone gets reported for neglect, the news spreads fast." Good, I thought. And that's exactly how I felt. About 3 months after everything calmed down, I got a message from an unknown number. "This is Monica. I know I shouldn't contact you, but I needed to tell you something. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I know you probably don't believe me, and I don't blame you, but I'm in therapy. I've thought a lot, and I finally understand what I did. I put my need to be right above responsibility. I let my ego put your lives at risk. That's unforgivable, and I don't even expect you to forgive me. I just wanted you to know that today I see all of it. I see the size of my mistake. I hope you and your brother are okay. I hope you can both recover from what I caused. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart." I took a screenshot and sent it to the lawyer to document the restraining order violation. Then I blocked her number. Honestly, I didn't care whether she was sorry. Remorse doesn't erase months of suffering, doesn't undo brain surgery, doesn't give back the time my brother lost while a tumor grew unnoticed in his head. Feeling sorry didn't change any of that. 2 weeks later, my aunt told me Monica's sister kicked her out of the house. Apparently, a few months living together brought back the reasons they'd distanced themselves in the first place. Monica started giving medical advice to her nieces and nephews, and her sister refused to tolerate it. She told her to pack her things and leave. "So where is she going now?" I asked, purely out of curiosity. "I have no idea," my aunt said. "And honestly, I don't care. She earned it. Now she can deal with the consequences." Monica still tried calling my dad, asking to stay at his place for a while. "Just until I can get myself organized again." He reminded her of the restraining order and promised he'd call the police if she contacted him. She also reached out to old friends from the hospital, but Nancy made sure everyone knew what had happened, and no one wanted anything to do with her. She burned every bridge, pushed away anyone who might have helped, and now she had to live with the results of her choices. And to be honest, I felt nothing watching it happen. No pity, no relief, nothing. I just watched someone reap what they sowed. It wasn't my problem anymore. One night, my brother asked about her. "Do you think Mom will ever change?" he asked as we watched TV together. "I don't know," I answered honestly. "Maybe people can change if they truly want to, but even so, that doesn't erase what she did, and you don't owe her anything. You don't have to forgive her, you don't have to give her a second chance. Nothing. What you owe is to yourself. You deserve to heal and move forward." "I think I'm okay with the idea of never seeing her again," he said quietly. "Then that's your choice," I said. "And it's completely fair. Monica's sister didn't even take a week to kick her out again." If you enjoyed this video, please support the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, and leaving a like.